Hi, I'm Nathan from the DVCC and I'm here with Andrew Jerd.
Hi.
Has been at the DVCC for how long now, Andrew?
Oh, nearly 2 years now.
Just under 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
so done very well in that time. Would you like to explain your results in that time?
Well, I've lost 43 pounds body fat, I guess, and down to 7.3% body fat, which is great. Really pleased with that. And now sort of building muscle, which is also good.
Awesome. Let's go back to when you first came through the door at the DVCC. What were your initial thoughts? Was it Josh you met first?
It was. Feels like a long time ago now, but met Josh. Was a lot bigger, obviously, than I am now, just didn't really know what to expect. Knew that I didn't really want to go back to the same sort of gym environment that I was in before, but didn't know what to expect from this really. Heard about sort of, I think at the time it was kind of boot camp type thing, but it was. I kind of didn't know what I was going to expect.
Okay, but you'd been training previously with another personal trainer, hadn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a while. It was a while since since I'd sort of been training. So it was probably I probably hadn't been at the gym for about a year because we'd moved to Bedford and I kind of hadn't really in that time done anything since. But prior to that, I had personal trainers at sort of big gyms and stuff like that. So that's where I used to work out.
Okay, let's go back to your first session. How did you feel when you did your first session at DVCC?
Absolutely killed me. I just remember feeling exhausted, sick. Just didn't. I mean, you kind of feel good because you kind of got through it, but it was tough.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And let's speak a little bit about how your nutrition has changed and how let's talk about your nutrition. How's that changed over the 2 years?
Yeah, just massively. I think I've that's probably been the biggest change. I think it was one of the things that I think at the time you sort of introduced me to sort of stages of what I needed to do. So I think it was kind of things like drinking loads of water was one of the first things that I do, which I've kind of carried on, and then it was really sort of how I cut out, because I used to be having like lots of gluten and all that kind of stuff, so it was cutting that out. I think pretty much my standard breakfast went from sort of cereal and toast to an omelette and a smoked salmon omelette in the morning, or different types of omelette. And then it was really just adjusting I kind of cut bread out of my diet completely. And although now I'm just having little bits and pieces, it's certainly not like the major part of what I do. So that helped me an awful lot. Just really sort of keeping vegetables, greens, and protein, and just kind of making sure that was the main part of my dietary regime, I guess. In terms of starting here, yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about any concerns you had. Did you have any concerns about anything regarding the DVCC before you started?
It was just really the unknown. It was just not knowing what to expect. I mean, that very quickly disappeared. So as soon as I sort of came through the door, met Josh, and just met some of the clients, that was pretty much it was very easy. Like within the first definitely within the first week, you just feel at home. Everybody makes you feel welcome. The environment here was just phenomenal. I mean, really, really supportive, and just really nice bunch of people, but clients and obviously transformation experts. So it's a good environment to be in.
Let's go back before you started with DVCC. How did you feel about yourself when you first came through that door? Like, what kind of state were you in mentally? How did you feel?
Just not very pleased with myself. I mean, I'd gone through for my 40th. I'd kind of got to a stage where I sort of said, right, well, this is what I want to achieve, and I kind of did that, and then just let it all go, because there wasn't really anything after my 40th. It was kind of like, well, what else do I do? So I wasn't particularly great in my mindset. I think it was a conference that I'd just sort of been to with work, where I had to buy this massive suit, and I had to go up a size and everything. And when you just kind of look at yourself in the mirror and just go, I really don't want to be this person that just buys ever bigger
Yeah.
kind of clothes just to compensate for the fact that my size is growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't particularly happy with myself, and just thought, okay, need to do something to sort this out. So yeah, that's kind of where I was mentally.
Okay. And how do you feel about yourself now?
I'm just completely different. I mean, this is, to be honest, it's one of those things where you just look at yourself now and go, why on earth didn't I do this 20 years ago? Because I'm coming up to 45 this year, so, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I mean,
awesome.
Physically, I've never been happier. Looking in the mirror, you can see definition, I can see tone, I can see, do you know what I mean? All of those things that you just associate with being sort of fit and happy with your body. So yeah, really. Yeah.
Awesome. That's real good to hear that you're in the best shape of your life. That's awesome.
Oh, just yeah. I mean, couldn't be. I mean, I couldn't doing things like the mud runs that we've done and stuff like that. I would never have even
dreamt of.
Just even thought that I would be doing stuff like that. And you know, I mean, you just get to push yourself further and further, which is really, really good. And now I'm just looking forward to the next journey, yeah, and all the continuing journey, I guess.
Awesome. I mean, you're a busy guy. You've got a busy job.
Yep.
You're up and down the country. How have you managed to fit in the training? Because I know that for a lot of people that are watching, they might be concerned that they're not going to be able to fit in the training. So, I mean, how have you managed that?
Well, I think for me, it's kind of, first of all, you've got to make a choice that this is important, because I think I've definitely felt that it has benefited my working life. So I know it's a bit of well, it's not a weird thing at all. It's just kind of like the better you feel, the more energetic you are, the better I can actually perform at work. So actually, you know, being as I was when I first joined, you're very lethargic, you're very kind of, you know, run down. I would always get colds. Like if someone just had to like say, oh, I've got a sore throat, and the next day I'd be like, because you're just not in the best place health-wise. I think for me it was just knowing that this was 45 minutes of a day that I could just do, that I could commit to, and certainly what it meant was that I could get here in the evening or in the morning. I could do it around the locations that I was in, so whether that was Milton Keynes or Bedford at the time. So I had a bit of choice there, and now even more choice with Northampton, obviously. So I got to Leicester quite a bit. So if I know that I'm not going to get back to Bedford, I can always sort of do a little drive off the motorway and get into Northampton for the last session. Nice. So it's about sort of looking at that. But I think for me it was just making time, and I know that I can do this, and then probably go home and do a bit more time at work. So it's just really about making the time. But yeah, I've certainly found that it actually, but it benefit that cliche of work-life balance. It is so important, and now it kind of annoys me, I guess, if it goes the other way, because it is. Yeah, absolutely.
You come in and, you know,
if you're not doing those sessions now, then it just kind of upsets that balance of making you feel good. Yeah,
doing what you want to do. Okay, I'm not going to keep you for too much longer there, Jed, because you've got a session to run off to. Guys, if you've got any questions, we're going to be here for about another minute, so if you'd like to ask Andrew anything about his transformation or anything that he feels about the DVCC, please let us know. What has kept you going for the 2 years? Because again, a lot of people will probably be sitting there thinking, you know, I wonder how he's, you know, been able to maintain the amount of sessions that you do. So how have you kept yourself?
I think it's just challenging myself. I mean, I'm always the kind of person that once I set myself a challenge, then I kind of stick to it and want to do it. And I think that the one thing the DVCC has been able to do for me is always challenge me. And so when I got to the stage that I lost my, you know, the weight that I needed to do, I kind of got to the body fat percentage that I needed to do. I literally had to talk to you guys, and we talked about what the next step was going to be, and we've, you know, talked about muscle building and all this. So for me, it's just having that next challenge, and I suppose it's also about sort of doing things differently. I mean, one of the things that I do is kind of go to the different centres and get I think being trained by different trainers and just having them challenge you in different ways, does that make sense? Because trainers train differently as well.
All within the same style,
absolutely,
of course, but
exactly. But they've got their own sort of focuses, and also they want to push you. I mean, I always joke that people, they always want to have a chance at sort of pushing me to my limit. But
always wants the better.
But I think that I thrive on. Do you know what I mean? If I can go in and say, "Oh, Nathan, you didn't give me as good a set," it's like, right, well, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? Or I had a better session with Ryan, or stuff like that. So exactly. Winding trainers up. Yeah, it's always good.
Not a wise thing to do for anyone watching. But Andrew, thank you very much for taking time to speak to me today.
No
it's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, if you would be kind enough to hit the subscribe button, it should be in the top left or bottom left, or one of the corners. And you'll always be able to see when we are doing, either there. You'll always be able to see when we are going live and speaking with clients. We're going to be doing this a lot more frequently. Andrew, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
I'll let you get on with your muscle building.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day, guys. Bye-bye.